speaking of the role of men, you know, and you know, he has a lovely teaching here where he says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church. I'm not too sure how many husbands really listen and understand that, hey, hold on, wait a minute. Just like how Jesus did what? I don't think I can handle that.
Yep. And you know, what is interesting in this day of women's liberation is that women get out of shape when they read the text first. Because I think they don't hear the text first. But when you read the text closely, and that's why I started here, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word. And the love of the husband for the wife, the love of Christ for his church is the cross where Christ gives himself up on the cross. That's what we're talking about. The way Christ loved the church is by giving himself in humble service to the church, his bride, through the cross and through the suffering.
But I needed to explain something here. He says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word. I need you to explain that.
Well, remember on the night before he died, he told them what he was doing. Yeah. I remember he said he consecrated them in truth. And he consecrated himself. So that's one way. The second way is, remember, blood and water flowed from the side of Christ, right, which is both baptism and Eucharist. But remember, he is the word. In the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God. Mm-hmm. So there are all kinds of symbolics that Paul is playing with here in the text. But the text goes on, and to present her to himself as a radiant church without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In this way, in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. So the teaching of Paul here is about a sacrificial love. A love that goes way beyond all boundaries. A love that really is beyond what we are comfortable with. And that's why it's service, not domination. Yeah. Because this love is a humble service kind of love. And if we get that right, then I think the family will be right. And I think the whole thing in civilization will get right. But once we think in domination, head of household, well, I lock in on this block and you go do what I want when I want. No, because that's not what Jesus did. That's not what he did.
Yeah, but that calls for, your words are radical humility. I mean, for a man, that's a hard thing. Radical humility is a hard thing for a man, Archbishop Jason.
No, Derek, come on. Let's be real.
No, wait. You mean you're not agreeing with me that radical listen, no. You know how this thing is?
No.
Who wear the pants? You know what I mean? No, serious humility.
Derek, I can't go with you on this one, you know.
You can't go with
Can't go with you on this one. This is not hard. It's not hard. This is impossible.
No, but
without grace, this is impossible. This is what the new man, redeemed by Christ, through God's grace, looks like. This is not willpower. You can't wake up one morning and decide, well, I go in this humble. That's not how it works. This is God's grace transforming you and your heart to become this kind of person.
Wow.
To become this kind. And that's why We are constantly in God's hands and constantly being transformed by Him. Because if this was so easy, more of us would do it.
Yeah,
you wake up in the morning and you fire up and you go and you do it.
But this is a call. You know what I don't understand? Let me just tell you what I don't understand. Here is Jesus living in this kind of Jewish society where women, you know, are not supposed to be talking to other men or talking to not even their husband in public. Where women, and it still happens in some religions, they have to walk behind the man, you know. And here you're saying head of the household, service, not domination. When
you look at Paul,
yeah.
When you look at St. Paul, that's what St. Paul is talking towards. So what is being asked of the husband is a radical humility, a self-emptying, and a disposition of humble service. That's what St. Paul is asking for. He is hitting the man everywhere where it hurts and putting before the man a bar that is really high and saying, all right, man up now and get to this, man up now. And so that's really what you're dealing with. So when Paul speaks, so in one of St. Paul's writings, he says, no Jew or Gentile, no woman or man, no free or slave in Christ. Many believe it was a baptismal formula. And basically what the formula is saying is that there's a radical equality in Christ. No distinctions between race, Jew or Gentile, or gender, male or female, or no distinctions. In this, what he's saying is Christ loved his church by sacrificing himself for her. He gave her everything in his death on the cross. And that's what a man is to give to his wife and to his family.